Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Peterson, according to your background, sir, you are our education specialist here. We're clearly facing a challenge in filling the roles that our nation needs in cybersecurity and the cyber tech performance realm. The workforce challenges across every industry are quite significant, including healthcare and manufacturing. I mean, we can't get enough welders, so it should be no surprise in a nation that is noted for its work ethic. If we can't get enough welders, we're probably going to have problems getting enough cyber workers. Are you familiar with the terms being called the disconnected youth or the disconnected generation? For the benefit of Americans tuning in, we're talking about an alarmingly large percentage of what's referred to as Gen Z that is neither working nor in school. Traditionally, historically, that was a deal. As you became a young adult American, you went to work or you went to school. In some cases, did both. So if this is the generation that's the demographic that we would seek to fill cyber positions from, and if that generation of Americans is not interested in working or going to school, how are we going to pull them into training? Do you have some insight into that? And then I have a follow-up question for you, sir.
Thank you for the question. I am very familiar with that demographic, also known as opportunity youth. They're 18 to 25-year-olds who, as you said, either didn't complete their education or are currently unemployed. I think that is one of many populations that we consider underserved or underrepresented that we need to target and lift up. This is not a problem that's solved just by getting rid of four-year degrees. We need people with two-year degrees, four-year degrees, but we also need to address the needs of that population you described who need mentoring, they need opportunities. Registered apprenticeships, as we've already talked about, may be a great foot in the door for them to get some workplace experience and have a job opportunity. But that is a very much critical population, not only for cybersecurity, but for other skilled trades that we need across the country to make sure we're helping to support those individuals.
So with your background in education and your position with the National Initiative for Cybersecurity Education, what would you recommend to Congress, sir, and to this committee? How could the legislative branch use Article I authorities to work with our sovereign states and our educational institutions at every level, certificate and collegiate level, educational opportunities for this generation of Americans that we're going to have to rely upon to get engaged in the cyber workforce? What would you recommend?
Yeah, so I would start with think locally, and you authorize NIST to give these grants called regional alliances and multi-stakeholder partnerships to stimulate cybersecurity education and workforce development in your communities. We gave out 18 grants this past year. We're about to announce 15 more community grants.
Say that again, please, sir. You gave out what?
18 grants this past fiscal year, and we're about to announce 15 more based on an appropriation from the Congress. But this really brings local communities together, local schools, local community colleges, universities, training organizations, nonprofits, economic development organizations, even individuals like yourself, to make sure you're addressing the needs of local employers in your locality or region. So a lot of what we're talking about is at the national level, which is great resources, but where the rubber really meets the road is in your districts, in your communities, and that grant program, much like the ecosystem work that's described in the National Cyber Workforce and Education Strategy, is about strengthening local ecosystems.
Thank you, sir, for your very insightful answer. I concur, Mr. Chairman. We have to work at the sovereign state and local level within the states to address the cyber workforce challenge. Thank you, sir.